Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benazar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you celebrating an anniversary of yours recently, a wedding anniversary. So I want to remind the people, Minister for Hire, J-Dog is available to do your wedding.
Great. I love it. I love how we're just slightly there, so you can just see just somebody there, but mostly you. It's a good shirt.
Oh, you and your wife? It's not about you guys.
Yeah, we're barely there.
That's right. A happy anniversary. Happy start of football season. There's a lot going on. We are within 24 hours of the NFL season kicking off.
Yep.
We have a super contest going on, the Sports Hangover sponsored super contest. It's not too late to join, right?
No, still have time. I'm going to cut off entries like an hour before kickoff. I want to send everybody an email. It seems like we have some rookie gamblers in the league. So I'm going to send out just like instructions, make sure everybody understands everything. I've been getting a ton of questions. People thought they had to pay $100 every week and gamble every week. I said, no, just one time.
It's a high roller league.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Just one time. So it's fun. Go to supercontest.co. You can sign up and play along. We have a lot of stuff.
Can they sign up until Thursday night or until Sunday morning?
Technically, you could go until this weekend, but I'd like to lock it Thursday in case anybody wants to play. Now, I will say, as a person who's done the super contest for the last 5 years, I would say one of the rules we follow, which I'll go over some rules of our super contest, is don't play Thursday night.
Like the opening night game or ever?
Ever. Don't play Thursday.
Why? Thursdays are weird?
Thursdays are games where they're a little more unpredictable, where you can't really, they have less time to prep, less time to get ready, their injuries. I just think it's a weird night. Sometimes you might hit it, sometimes you might not, but overall, if you control it a little and don't play Thursday nights, you're going to be better off in the long run because Thursdays are dicey to play.
Well, you don't want to tell everyone your best gambling tips because so many of the people in our pool are listening in the super contest are listening because it's sponsored by the Sports Hangover.
It is. And listen, I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I think it's helpful, some of the week one stuff. Now, listen, I'm not always right. All these stats are basically like 50-50. So take everything with a grain of salt. And as you've seen over the past years, I'm not that great at it when it comes to picking the teams. So this is just stuff we've built in the last few years of, super contest stuff. But what do you got this week?
I lost your audio for a second there. Hopefully it's okay on your end. I'm excited to take you on. I think one of our listeners reached out to J-Dog last night and said, I'm excited for you to take on the Sharks, the Sharps. And I appreciate that because you and mutual friend and Gambling Goose, who we can reveal an expert is in the pool. So we have a high level of betting expert. And then me, I'm just a fantasy guy, a football fan, X's and O's. I get in the film room. I'm carving up tape, but I'm not placing a lot of bets. But here I am now in a position to take you on 5 picks a week. I'm super excited to track my progress versus you, a mutual friend, Gambling Bill, Gambling Goose, and all the people, all the experts in the league.
It's a lot of pressure. I feel like it's a lot of pressure on me to perform really well and like be good at this. And that's the thing. It's scary because literally being good at this is meaning you're hitting it 54% of the time. So that's
being bad is hitting it 48%. It's a very small margin.
Small margin. Now there are some people that are going to go like 0-4, 0-5, 1-4 a lot of the weeks. Because, you take the favorites. There might be a few that go that way.
What's your advice? Because I think you can speak to this better than most. What's your advice from bouncing back from an 0-5 week?
It's not easy. You're mentally stressed because you think everything that you're doing, all your techniques and information that you're getting, you think, I got to switch it up. But really, you just got to stick to your guns. Those weeks are going to happen and forget about it. You're moving forward, just like a football team. You don't look at the past. You go forward. You keep going with your plan because that's the plan you have. And that's what we try to do. It's tough. It's really tough. Because especially
Just let it go.
I will say this too. Week 3 and 4, Vegas catches on. So I will say if you're hot week 1, 2, maybe 3, you might do a full turnaround because I've been tracking her. It's pretty bad. But I went back and looked at all her stats, every week 3, 4, or 5, we go 0-5, 1-4. It gets really bad. It's not good.
There's always a week. I feel like it's not always early, around mid-season, when you and mutual friend reevaluate everything. Because you guys played the real super contest in the past. And that's a big buy-in, high pressure, high stakes. And there's always a week I check in with you guys, and you are reformatting the entire process mid-season. So what I'm telling people is not to be discouraged if it happens to them. You're going to have these tough weeks. keep going. Just like you said, NFL teams, don't look at the tape that week. Just move forward, keep to your strategies, stay confident, and no doubt you'll go 0-5 2 weeks in a row.
So do you want me to go over some rules here? Not rules, but do you want me to go over some of our best tips, some stats
Best
that we
practices.
have?
Yeah. And again, I think you should let people sign up in case they're listening now or Friday or Saturday before the Sunday slate. Maybe let folks sign up until Sunday. Maybe we'll get some late entrants here.
Sure. I'm not opposed to it, but I do want to send out the, information on how much everybody will get getting paid quarterly, stuff like that. Cause there's quarterly payouts. So you can be good for 4 weeks and that's great. That's all you need. So hopefully people know that you can win your money back every quarter, which is great. So I do want to, all right, so there's a lot of stuff. Last year I went over a lot of week 1 rules. Week 1 is the 1 week where you have tons of stats. Everybody's hyped for week 1. This is a new one. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to share this one because I thought this was a really, really good one. This is like something I never thought
You're
about.
giving us your good stuff?
I'm going to give some good stuff because it's week 1. I want people to feel excited about it. Get in there. So
you want everyone 5-0, then fall off after that.
Yeah. That's fine. So this is a great week 1. Fade teams who did not start their QB in the preseason. And that's a big one. So I have a list of all the teams as well, if you want me to go over that.
Yeah, we do.
So you want to fade these teams. Now, it's not 100%, but I would say these quarterbacks did not play a snap at all. Now, one quarterback didn't play until last year because he was injured.
You're about to name the best quarterbacks in the league, but please proceed.
Detroit did not play Jared Goff.
Okay, that's good.
Minnesota did not play Kirk Cousins. Tennessee did not play your boy, Ryan Tannehill.
I think he's hurt.
Okay. Baltimore did not play Lamar Jackson. He was hurt last year, so he hasn't had a true snap since last year.
And he's coming off the big contract. He got paid. Is he resting on his laurels or is he still out there and grinding?
He's got to perform. Then we have Cincinnati. Obviously, Joe Burrow had the calf injury. So
finally cleared to practice today, thankfully.
A little dicey for this weekend. We have Chargers. We have the Eagles, Rams, and Cowboys. So I wouldn't say all elite talent, but some are sprinkled in there, like
Herbert, Hurts. Yeah, we're fading all those guys. So that's an interesting stat to keep track of to see if these kind of star QBs. Aaron Rodgers, one of the few big names who did play in the preseason. I didn't know this, but apparently Pat Mahomes always plays in the preseason.
He always plays.
Did you know that? Yeah.
No, I like it. I think it's a good way they just kind of dust off the rust a little bit and get in there.
You say that, but if someone has an ACL, then it's disaster. It didn't happen this preseason, but it does happen.
I know. Well, it happened to Kelsey. If you're playing fantasy, that's bad. I drafted in another league. I drafted Kelsey for not first overall, but like 5th overall, and he's out now. So I got nothing.
The Chiefs are fascinating. If you look ahead to that Thursday night game, just briefly, who are their pass catchers? Like who are their athletes? It's like Mahomes and an island of 7th round picks. The Sky Moores, the Isaiah Pacheco's, Noah Gray at tight end.
It's not good.
Juju Smith-Schuster left, so like their biggest name receivers now, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That's the number 1.
MVS and Tony's out, right? Kadarius Tony's out.
He might be playing. He had a good Super Bowl. It's just that Mahomes is like they keep believing in him so much, and it's like we're just going to keep taking away your skill position guys, and we trust you to keep going.
He's pretty good. I feel like when you have an elite quarterback, you make guys much better than they are. Right?
That's true, but like the Bengals have Chase and Higgins, and that like helps Burrow be elite. Mahomes just does it on his own.
He's good. All right, so I have a few other ones. These are take them for what you want, but I'm going to go over a few week 1 stats. So here's week 1. Lions have hit in 11 straight week 1 games. They've hit over, and they've also covered the spread in week 1 games. Sean McVay.
But that contradicts our Jared Goff stat. So you're confusing me on the Lions. And we don't bet Thursday night games. There's a lot coming out here.
I will. And then here's another Jared Goff stat. Jared Goff, 5-0 against the spread week 1.
Oh, so we do bet. See, this is like competing information here. People have to weed through it themselves.
I know. There's a lot of stats that are going to contradict each other's stats. So like this week also is a big week, I would say. Listen, I'm giving a lot of information out here. This week, you play divisional dogs, right? But then a lot of these stats contradict, like, well, I don't want to play this team because they're over here. It's a lot of tough stuff.
Divisional dogs, the Cleveland Browns against the Bengals, the Giants against the Cowboys, teams like that.
Yeah. Those are big games, though. And you got to see where the money's going, the public money.
You said something about Burrow a second ago. You're not big on Burrow. Didn't play in the preseason, just started practicing. We'll see. Are you on the Browns, Deshaun Watson, week 1?
Listen, right now, I don't want to say what. Yeah, I'm partially there on the Browns right now. I'm on some pretty ugly teams. Like if we want to go through it, the Browns are kind of eyeing up there. I like Vegas a little bit. It's just we'll see how it goes.
Vegas at Denver, a
Yeah.
divisional dog.
Yeah, and then I don't like Russ. I don't think Russ is going to be good, and I don't think Sean Payton likes Russ. So
Sean Payton saying some things to Russ.
so get your shit together.
Stop kissing babies. When is Russ kissing babies? I don't know he did that.
Russ was working on his public appearance. His PR team was pushing him out there quite a bit. We haven't seen anything since Sean Payton's come in, right? Nothing about Russ, and I think that's probably better for Russ. It was getting to his head a little bit.
What if Sean Payton does Sean Payton things? What if Russell Wilson goes back in time 3 years? What if the Broncos are really good and win that division and go like 13-4? Is that even possible?
Of course, yeah, anything's possible. Listen,
that's the beauty of week 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's week 1. Everybody thought they were going to be good last year. So I feel like now pressure's off. It's like now you just got to kind of win games. You don't have to be elite and like compete. Everybody thought that division was going to be the hardest division. And then everybody just fell off and it was just Kansas City.
It was just Kansas City. Chargers didn't even make the playoffs. So I love that we're fading Herbert week 1 against the Dolphins. Anyway, go on with your bet.
Here's 2 quick other stats. Fade Super Bowl teams. So obviously we want to fade maybe the Eagles, maybe Kansas City. So you kind of see, are we pushing towards Detroit here a little bit?
Seems like you are, yes.
New head coaches over the past 4 seasons, teams with new head coaches are 3-19 straight up and 7-16 against the spread week 1 when facing a returning coach. So they have to be facing a same.
That's why you like the Raiders. Sean Payton against established Josh McDaniels.
We'll see what's happening. I mean, it's a lot of information to digest. The biggest one was every year that the Colts play Jacksonville, if the Colts are playing Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Jaguars win that game. And I don't know why it happens, but it happens. This year, the Jags are at the Colts. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of scared of that game. I feel like I should take the Colts. They're at home. They're on field, but right, new head coach, new quarterback, right?
Anthony Richardson. I thought you're a fan. You came into our fantasy draft saying you're a fan.
I am a fan. I really like him. I think he's hyped up. I think he's going to be good. I think he's so good. I was telling you, he's so good that he almost is considering just leaving to go rap because he's like so talented at quarterback and just an athlete. He's just like, oh yeah, this is too easy. Like I'm going to go rap. I'm going to go do my rapping career. That's how good he is. He just doesn't care. So
that's why you expect him. I know Mike has new rap power rankings. Number 1, Drake. Number 2, Anthony Richardson of the Colts. He's on that high on your board. I'll tell you this, Mike. I'll give you a little tease.
Okay.
That the Colts Jags line this week is one of my favorite lines of the week. Whoa. I'm not going to tell you which side I'm on. It's just one of my favorites.
I feel like I know what side you're on.
You don't know.
I feel like I would say this. I would say most of the public money is on Jacksonville.
So that's one thing that we can share is Mike thinks I'm going to follow the public money because I'm just a no knowledge guy who just follows things that make sense. And we'll see if that holds up throughout the season. We'll see if I can beat Mike and the public. That would be awesome.
I hate it. I mean, there's a lot of other stats too, like indoor games. They hit the over about 68% of the time.
But we can't bet over under in super contests, which is disturbing.
No, but if you're just going to go out there and bet, I mean, these are some things to take in consideration. Indoor games between divisional teams are 17-7 to the over, which is also another one. So high scoring indoor games.
Not sure we have any of those this week.
We have the Colts indoor.
Colts, Jags. That's right.
Divisional teams. We keep talking.
You're on that game.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah.
What else? Here's another good one. In week 1, road underdogs who failed to make the playoffs in the previous season cash at a 61% rate since 2005, and it's 73, 46, and 4 against the spread, covering by 3.4 points per game.
That's because we think about the playoffs, recency bias. No one wants to bet on teams who didn't play in the playoffs because they haven't played since last December, but actually, you probably should.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. And
one of my favorite things you said, just to hammer down, is teams that made deep playoff runs often struggle in September and October, and sometimes for the whole season. Kelsey and the Chiefs played 4 extra games than the Chargers did. Or the Chargers did make the playoffs. They lost to the Jags. A non-playoff team. 4 more games when you go to the Super Bowl. That's I mean, that's 12 catches a game for Kelsey. That's at least 50 more hits he took than a tight end who just missed the playoffs. And so I love the idea of fading guys with long playoff runs early in the season and taking those teams that maybe are a little more well rested and healthy.
And here's another one. This is like maybe looking towards week 2. Teams that didn't cover by more than 28 points. Now, if a team gets blown out, basically your team was blown out, they cover the next week by 63%.
It always corrects in week 2. I remember that stat from you from last year. Week 1, don't overreact, overreaction Monday, all that bullshit. Don't do it. Stick to your guns. Week 2, they always bounce back.
And the best one I like, which I imagine they're playing this year, Jets have never beaten the Eagles. Eagles are 11-0 against the Jets.
That's a random stat. I mean, they're not going to beat him this year with Aaron Rodgers hurt and Zach Wilson playing.
You never know. So yeah, just tons and tons of stats. We have Russ stats, which we kind of claimed as a dead stat, but Russell Wilson in prime time, when he's in prime time, he was 23-7 against the spread in prime time.
Okay. That was a lot in Seattle, where it's a really hard place to play in prime time. Let's be honest. That's where Marshawn Lynch causes earthquakes when he runs.
These were not updated last year, so I imagine it's more like 23-14 or something like that. Also, another one, the big Mahomes guy, they're playing tomorrow night. Mahomes is 22-4 straight up in September.
That's because he plays preseason every year.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
I can keep going.
You've thoroughly confused me on Lions Chiefs, so definitely won't be betting that game for all the ways you went on that. You've always been a Lions guy. Dan Campbell sold you last Hard Knocks. Yeah. So to the audience, take the Lions stuff with a grain of salt from Mike.
So what other games do you like? I mean, we have some notes on some games. I'm willing to talk about it all. I just don't know what my final picks are going to be yet. There's some ugly games out there.
There's a few lines I really, really like. Colts Jags is one of them. I was looking at the Cowboys-Giants game, thinking, that's a divisional game. The line's kind of big. The Giants at home. Can they get a good crowd on Sunday night and beat Dak? I know you love to fade Dak there. Some really interesting games what were you saying?
I was going to say on that game, so, on our sheet, we have a sheet here, and it highlights value. We highlighted value on the Giants. But it scares me because it's such a public game. It's like, that's literally like America's game, right? It's Dallas, New York. It's just it's tough. So the perceived line, what we think it should be, New York should be getting 2 points. They're getting 3.5. So we're getting an extra 1.5 points on the game. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen where the current line is. These are obviously just our pool lines, but it's dicey. It's dicey that game scares me a lot.
There's trouble in Dallas. Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy did not know Trey Lance was being traded for until it was announced by Adam Schefter. So that seems like an issue there. Some internal conflict. I'm fading Dak. I was on Dak for a long time. Right. I'm off Dak. I did take CeeDee Lamb first round in our fantasy draft, but that was because no one was left to me. After you swiped Bijan Robinson, after you talked shit about Bijan Robinson, I did, yeah. That's a different story. Haven't mentioned the Falcons yet. They're playing the Panthers in a game that should be somewhat unwatchable to most people.
I kind of like Carolina a little bit, and I know it goes against everything.
Rookie, the new head coach, a lot of stats you're bucking here.
But the divisional dog, does divisional dog beat the rookie and new head coach, or which one wins out? And that's the tough part. We have both here, so I don't know if I just cross that game out, because that game might be a cross out for me.
It's unwatchable in a lot of ways. The 1 o'clock window, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4:25 Eastern. So many good games. Dolphins, Chargers, real toss up. I should be going, but the Dolphins did not acquire Jonathan Taylor. They're not all in, and I'm not supporting them at this time.
Good.
Who else is in that window? I think Packers, Bears is there. Seahawks, Rams. I know the Seahawks are much better this year. Rams, Cooper Kupp is out. Could they be tanking all of a sudden? That's something I want to talk about.
Definitely.
Just a lot of good action. Patriots, Eagles. I'm excited to see the Eagles offense against Belichick. Belichick has had 9 months to prepare for this Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts looked unstoppable last year. Well, they have a Super Bowl hangover. They were defeated by the Chiefs last time we saw them. So a lot of interesting 125 games.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to go over. I haven't made my final decision yet.
I haven't either, and I'm not going to reveal them here. Let's do some Super Bowl picks while we're on the subject.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's easy. I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy. They're back. His arm is fixed. I think they make it back there, and I think they play Kansas City. I think it's that easy.
Wow, chalky chalk.
Yeah, I don't know who else would you pick. Now, if we're going like long shots, I don't know who I'd pick, but I feel like just off the top of my head, those were the two that I wanted to see back in the Super Bowl. Because I think both teams, I mean, maybe not Kansas City, they're not really stacked at like skill players, but San Francisco is stacked, right? Like they have every position you could think of. They have somebody. Bosa just signed today, right? So they have all the receivers, running back. They have. I think Brock Purdy's going to be great. So they're going to the Super Bowl. They can play somebody else in the AFC. A lot of people think Pittsburgh might be there. A lot of hype on Pittsburgh all of a sudden. I don't know why.
Wait a second. So Mike believes in Brock Purdy more than Kyle Shanahan himself believes in Brock Purdy. It's very impressive how you and Shanahan are the only people in the world who are like, we can win a Super Bowl with this guy. And it might actually happen because the roster is loaded and everywhere but QB. It's Purdy and Darnold with Trey Lance out of there. The skill positions, the defensive line, the O-line, the secondary, it's so stacked. The Eagles roster is similarly stacked. If you tell me that the Niners and Eagles are both not going to the Super Bowl, I'll tell you, you're crazy because one of them definitely are in the NFC. The NFC just doesn't have enough teams to get there. Like if you think about upstarts like the Saints and Lions or Packers, they might win their divisions. That's how bad their divisions are. They're not making the Super Bowl. They're not winning 3 to 4 playoff games. The Cowboys probably aren't. The Giants probably aren't. There's very few teams in the NFC. In the AFC, there's a lot of contenders. I wanted to put the Jags in the Super Bowl. I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I believe in Calvin Ridley bounce back. I believe in Travis Etienne. I believe in Doug Peterson. He's been there before with Carson Wentz. Lawrence is better than Wentz. So I believe in the Jags. Couldn't quite get there. I think the Bills are still stacked with Josh. The Chiefs, obviously, every single year. The Steelers, maybe we'll see. The Chargers, I think, bounce back with Moore, offensive coordinator. Herbert's finally healthy. The Broncos might be a surprise playoff team. The Dolphins might get in.
Really?
So I like the AFC. I like a lot of teams in the AFC. All right, so here we go. My Super Bowl pick is Niners will be there. Niners will be there for sure, but they're going to lose because Brock Purdy doesn't win big games.
So you believe in Brock too?
I believe in their offense.
Okay.
Except for Brock, because I don't like to bet on Jalen Hurts. I like to fade Jalen Hurts in general. He's a really good rushing quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Not a good passing quarterback. That's a secret. The Bengals will beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. I'm going with Joey B. I'm going with the loaded offense. Joey B is a winner. He's healthy. They have nearly beaten the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game 2 different occasions in the last 3 years. I think they did actually win one, right? They went to the Super Bowl against the Rams. That's right. So they beat the Bills in the playoffs last year. They played big games in January. Joe Chill, Joe Burr, call them what you want. Bengals are my Super Bowl winner.
Really? Bengals? I guess Bengals don't seem like seems like they've been there, but they almost like peaked going to the Super Bowl and they haven't been as good since. This worries me with that calf injury. Like that could be something that could just linger all season. Then is he not able to scramble as much? Is he not able to get as much power off throwing the ball? Worries me. It's cold up there in Cincinnati. That calf, that calf muscle is going to hurt.
Well, it won't be cold for several months.
I know, but it's just like when it comes down to it, it's going to be cold in the wintertime when they might be trying to make that playoff push. I don't know. The Bengals seem kind of like a team that will be good, but not good enough. And I think one of those like sneaky teams, like maybe Jags or Steelers or somebody might sneak in just because we never know. Like, I mean, I guess last year we could have predicted like Kansas City, but maybe not San Francisco as much. But we knew San Francisco was good. We knew,
and no one had the Eagles in the Super Bowl after Jalen Hurts played 1 year and was like, we don't know if this is the guy heading into last year. It goes to the Super Bowl. So that could be, random quarterback. That could be Derek Carr leading the Saints to the Super Bowl for all we know. It's possible.
Oh God. Yeah.
Russell Wilson, Broncos. It's possible. It's exciting. Week 1 is here. I'm so pumped. Can we do some scandals?
Yeah. What do you got? You want me?
Scandal City, please.
Hold on. I got it right here.
Please.
Time to dig up the dirtiest stories around the sport world in this week's Scandal City.
I've got 4 different scandals to run through. We can go through pretty quick. Just want to clear up some news and notes on some NFL scandals. Tyreek Hill. A lot of people were thinking, does he get suspended for his marina incident? He got off a boat and punched someone. Turns out, no, he's cleared. He's playing every week this year. Don't worry about it. Tyreek is okay, Mike.
Did you see that quote? Like, I had to mow Roger Goodell's lawn or something to get out of the suspension.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, did Tyreek pay Roger for real to get out of that? Because there was video. Normally when there's video, there's also a suspension.
He did punch somebody?
We try to suppress it, but it's out there.
I didn't see it.
Another scandal to let you know about. Cooper Kupp is out, and the Rams were getting ready for their week 1 game against Seattle. Cooper Kupp is not in LA, Mike. We are closer to the Rams practice than Cooper Kupp. He's in Minnesota getting expert opinions on his hamstring because it's not like a normal hamstring injury. I'm going to put my Sports hat on for a second here. The Rams don't have many good players. Really, they only have 1.5. One Cooper Kupp and half of Matt Stafford. The defense is terrible. It looks like, if you look at their defensive depth chart, it looks like they're tanking. And now Cooper Kupp is out. Maybe he's out several weeks. Maybe if they're 0-6, it's like, why come back at all? Maybe you trade Stafford, go fill in for a hurt quarterback on a contender mid-season. The Rams are now in tanking Caleb Williams territory. And I think Cooper Kupp is one of the big reasons why.
Who do you think will be worse? Do you think it's going to be the Rams or Cardinals? Because I know Murray's coming back. I know he's coming back, but
he might not this year.
I thought he was coming back like after 4 weeks.
It's not for certain. I mean, they say he will, but again, if you're 0-8, 1-10, do you really bring him back? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Do you place a bet on a winless team? Do you go for Cardinals? Do you go for the Rams? Do you go for one of these teams that might not win a game? Because there's always that one team. Like but I think there might be 2 teams this year that are just terrible.
Those are the 2, you think?
I think those are the 2. Yeah, same division too. So it kind of helps.
I didn't think Stafford and Kupp would be this bad. Like those 2 can win 3 games on their own, but if they're not playing, obviously they can't. I think the interesting thing is Caleb Williams' dad came out with a report today and said maybe Caleb will stay in school if he doesn't like who's picking number 1 overall. And that may have been a shot at the Cardinals, who are talking about, it's like they're intentionally getting rid of good players. They're starting Josh Dobbs like on purpose. Like that's a real decision they're making.
Josh Dobbs literally looks like he's been getting at like cancer treatment for the last 10 years or something. That man is just bald, no eyebrows or anything. It's like he doesn't look like a starting quarterback. I don't know what he's doing. How long has he been in the league?
He's not. Josh Dobbs is not that old. Are we thinking of the same person?
I'm thinking of the same person. He was backup for Pittsburgh for like a few years, right? Yeah. I know that guy.
That Josh Dobbs. So maybe Caleb Williams' camp is sending a signal to the Cardinals that says, "Don't tank because we're going back to college." If he does,
it's interesting now because in college now you can actually get those deals, right? Where you can actually make money.
Especially in LA. Think about all the car dealerships he must be getting paid from, all the endorsements. Around LA, like why be in a rush to leave?
And he won the Heisman last year.
He won the Heisman. We should go see him, Mike. He's just down the road at USC. Are you down to go to a game?
I mean, I told you that stadium's dog shit.
It is. But we could tailgate. We could see Caleb before he becomes number 1.
I think he just stays. If he's making like $10 million a year in college,
he's not making that much. I don't think.
You never know.
Rams could pay more. A couple more quick scandals. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor placed on the PUP list, might not play all year. Weird situation with the Colts and Irsay and him. The standoff should have been traded to the Dolphins. He wasn't. Yeah. So he's out now. We talked about.
I have a little. I saw. Did you see the alert? That maybe they tried out. I think James Robinson a little bit. The running back. They wanted to test him out. He might be joining the Colts for some running back help. But I thought they already had like 3 other running backs there.
They have 3. None of them are any good. They're all like Deion Jackson type people. Evan Hull. Never heard of any of them.
Yeah, I know.
James Robinson kind of got screwed. He went off for the Jags on a rookie contract, 6th-round pick. I was reading about this. He's part of this running back movement, but no one talks about him. But he was paid like $100 or maybe $400,000, whatever the league minimum is. Took a bunch of carries with the Jags, a bunch of hits, and now he's a free agent and he has no money. Like compare that to Nick Chubb, who's made $30 million. I feel less bad for Chubb and worse for a guy like Robinson. My last scandal: a Dodgers pitcher, Mike Julio Urias, their best pitcher, arrested for domestic violence on Sunday night after he attended the Messi game here at right next to where USC plays football, actually that new soccer stadium right down the road from me. So Dodgers are without him for a while, probably not for the playoffs. That's why I got the Braves hat on. Braves became even bigger favorites in the NL. They took 3 of 4 from the Dodgers this weekend. I saw Ronald Acuna hit a grand slam to go 30-60 in one season, 30 homers, 60 steals. Yes, that was a Dodgers note to get me into Braves talk, and I am here for it. I can't wait to go back to Chavez Ravine in October for a playoff game, and the Braves will beat that ass again.
I have 2 other things. I saw LeBron was out in Saudi Arabia, maybe getting a $1 billion deal after he retires to go play in Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Basketball League.
He always said he would take that money, right? He said that early.
I mean, if it's $1 billion, $500 million a year to go play in Saudi Arabia, I'd probably do it too. And then I saw Tom Brady partnered with Delta as like a Delta ambassador. Did you see that?
I did see that. He does those Hertz commercials. Like, is he a big travel guy?
I feel like he just likes easy money, and just like being an ambassador is just like an easy way to get paychecks. Maybe Giselle took a
Easy
lot of money
money
from
would
him.
be the Fox contract that he's not fulfilling this year. Is he
I
getting
think
paid
he's
for that? That's the easiest money.
I think he's having a lot of fun without doing football again. I think he just wanted a little break. How long has he been doing football? It's been like 20 something years.
I think we know Brady's a football guy and he really misses it and he's not having fun without it.
Well, didn't he like buy a part of a soccer team too? He's out there purchasing a lot of stuff. He needs some cash right now.
He must. He's like Michael Jordan. Needs to pay his debts.
Yeah.
I've got a big dick energy. Could we get to that?
Yeah. Let's do a little big dick energy. Here we go.
Big Dick Energy, winner of the week.
This is a shout out. The big
All
dick
right.
energy this week is everyone like me, like you, who has cut the cord from cable in the last
Oh, I
couple
saw
years
this.
because we are going through an issue right now. If you are one of 15 million people in America who rely on Spectrum cable for your TV, like Mutual Friend, and others listening, no doubt, you have no access to ABC, ESPN, or the Disney cable channels right now. And that's coming in the beginning of September as Monday Night Football starts. Jets Bills on Monday night. Mutual Friend and 15 million people cannot watch Jets Bills, a must-watch game here in week 1. They can't watch all the college football on ESPN and ABC all weekend too. It's a real issue. I'm hearing things, Mike. I'm hearing from industry sources that say this might be the straw that breaks the cable back when it comes to sports. Spectrum is not going to give in to ESPN. ESPN is not going to give in to Spectrum. And it seems like a standoff. I'm hearing close to 0% chance this is resolved in time for Monday Night Football.
Do you think it was interesting because ABC was off YouTube TV for like a day or two, right? Did you see that?
Was it? I may have missed it. If
It was
that
like
quick.
off for some weird reason. It's like they do not, I don't know, some guidelines. But I saw that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I also saw YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff like YouTube TV, NFL, whatever package. They're pissed at Google. The NFL is pissed at Google for not broadcasting like Puerto Rico and stuff because they're not able to broadcast there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on with cable. I feel like this is it. It's like they might have to have their own over-the-air thing that you download and get cable in some other way, but you're not going to have Disney, you're not going to have ABC, you're not going to have ESPN. I don't know if it really matters. Like maybe it matters to like, you know, Big Lou out there in the middle of nowhere where he has real cable and this is an issue, but I think for most of us, you find a way to get it. And I think most people are going to watch NFL on YouTube, right? I imagine.
Well, on YouTube TV, you mean, or Sunday
Wait,
Ticket? Because
can
Sunday
also-
Ticket does not include primetime games, and that's a huge issue.
But you can also get Sunday Ticket on YouTube as well, so you don't have to pay the YouTube TV subscription. So you can watch it on YouTube.
You can, but Sunday Ticket does not get you Monday night or Sunday Night Football.
because that's ESPN and then NBC
and NBC.
and then Amazon.
Thursday night, of course, is Prime anyway. That's a separate thing. But
They've
it's
really
kind of
fractured
crazy.
it. In the last few years, it's really gone 3 different directions, and now it's getting hard. It's almost like where streaming is going, where everything is like, oh, you have to have this subscription to watch this and that and that. It's a lot of subscriptions for the NFL.
You think it's a lot now? Wait until there's a playoff game this year on Peacock exclusively. You must sign up to Peacock to watch.
You
it.
have to sign up.
It's not on NBC. It's only on Peacock.
It's only
One
on
playoff game. One playoff game.
Which weekend is it? The wild card weekend?
The first
or-
weekend, yeah, the first weekend.
I don't
The
like
first
that.
Saturday.
That's tough. I canceled my Peacock subscription. There was nothing left for me to watch on it.
Well, no one wants to hear that, and I think you signaled the end of the show with that comment.
Wow. Okay. Go to supercontest.co. Go to sportshangover.com. We have swag up there. Somebody just bought randomly. This is really random.
Oh, no. Is this a lawyer?
No. We were drafting the other day, right? We were all drafting. Weirdly, both Lewises both had the same t-shirts on for the Sports Hangover. Somebody bought that same t-shirt the other day.
Another Lewis?
No, just some random dude on the Sports Hangover bought. Obviously, we're not doing tons of volume where I'm like looking at this. I'm like, who
Don't
bought
tell
this
people
t-shirt?
that.
Oh,
But it was during the draft, so maybe it's someone drafting with us who loved it or wants to troll
don't
it.
think
Either
so.
way, we accept both. We're so pumped for football season. This is what we live for. We bullshit our way through shows from March to July just to get to this
long time.
moment, and here we are. So I'm pumped to be here.
all right, good show. See you.